Our friend Nate Diaz is rolling in cash now, balling out of control. Yes. If I was, he might not fight again. He might beat Conor's ass again if they fight, and then like take 2 years off. And he's making millions of dollars, or not beat Conor's ass. I mean, who knows, right? I mean, Conor can win.
Just slap him.
The way Nate, I just had a feeling going into that fight. I was like, this is a big difference. There's a big difference to a Nate Diaz strikes and anybody else that Conor's fought. Like, Nate is real slick with his hands. He's real good at shoulder rolling. He's got a nasty jab. He drops his hands and sneaks stuff in on you. He knows how to like throw punches too with like minimal wind up. He knows how to pop you and those ding you, man. He dings guys on the chin. Like what he did with Michael Johnson, I was like, ooh, this is a tough fight. And he's a tough out. The only guy who's ever stopped him is Josh Thompson, head kicked him. And when Josh Thompson head kicked him, like he still didn't go out. He got rocked, but he's fucking tough, man. I was like, ooh. And if it goes to the ground, oh, that's the wrong guy. Nate Diaz is the wrong guy to go to the ground with. He's a legit black belt, a really high-level black belt. And I knew Conor had gotten submitted by Joe Duffy. And anybody can get submitted if you get caught. But he got submitted by that Joe Duffy guy just a few years ago. And Joe Duffy's a very talented fighter, no doubt about it. But Nate wouldn't have got submitted by that same guy. I highly, highly, highly doubt it. I mean, Dos Anjos, like that level, like there's like a few guys where you're like, ooh, if you submit that guy, like he's only been submitted in the UFC, Dos Anjos, once, and that's because he had a broken jaw. And it's Clay Guido who submitted him because Clay was on top of him squeezing his neck and his jaw was smashed and he realized he was really fucked and so he tapped. But like a guy like Conor, if you've been tapped before by Joe Duffy just a couple of years ago with an arm triangle, you got caught like that, like you got a lot to learn. And I don't know if you've learned it all in time. Like, you got to be obsessed with jiu-jitsu. You got to be in there every day training. And I didn't think he did. I didn't think he was that. I thought it was more of, you know, like movement and striking and all that stuff. And I know he was doing some jiu-jitsu, but it's not like the primary focus. So I felt like, oof, that's a big, deep-end fucking jump. He might knock him out. I mean, Conor can knock out anybody, but he didn't. You know, so now that he didn't, and now that Nate knows he didn't, and now they're going to go into the second fight, and Nate's going to have a full training camp, ooh, good luck.
What's the benefit of this second fight for Conor? Just
cash money,
that's
baby.
It? That's what I thought.
Through the roof, cash money.
Outside of that, is there any good
Well,
benefit?
he could always go down to 145 again. He's still the champion at 145. But the amount of money a Nate Diaz Conor McGregor rematch makes is going to be off the fucking charts. Nate Diaz is a superstar, and people didn't realize it until like the Michael Johnson fight. People realized it when he was calling out Conor in the octagon, and everybody was cheering. And also like the ratings, like when Nate Diaz, he's a fuck. You know, there was a big thing where Dana White had said that he's not a needle mover. You know, he's when they were in the middle of contract negotiations. He couldn't be further from the truth. He's a big needle mover. I mean, I love Dana, but that's just contract negotiation talk. Like Nate Diaz is maybe he didn't know. I mean, it's possible he didn't know, but I know. Because the Diaz brothers, as far as like my friends that are like casual MMA fans, the Diaz brothers are fucking huge. They're huge. Those guys are giant stars. And after Nick like pretended to sleep with Anderson Silva, and like they talk mad shit. They actually can fight. They fight very good. I mean, they're excellent world-class fighters, and they talk mad shit, and they smoke a lot of weed, and they mostly eat vegan. Like, I think Nick might be all vegan. I think Nick still eats, like, fish. But I know Nate eats fish. And I think they eat eggs, too. They eat, like, tortillas and stuff that's made with eggs. But they're interesting guys, man. They're fucking legit fascinating people. So, like, there's money. My point is, that guy's out of his mind. This isn't the Christian versus the Lions. This is a huge sport. These guys are giant stars. They're making fucking boatloads of cash.